Hi, I'm Brenda. Welcome to Nana's in Apron. Today we're going to do some holiday pie baking. Now, one I have made before, one I haven't. I have never, can you believe this? I have never made a homemade pumpkin pie. Not a full-size one. I've made the crustless ones. I've made several things with pumpkin, but never an actual homemade pumpkin pie from scratch-ish. Comes out of cans, but still. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pie that my mom used to make all the time. My daughter loves it. It's so simple, so simple. This one is a strawberry pie. Now, my mom used to make her filling, her glaze, but I'm doing it the easy way. I bought it pre-made. I've already started on putting the pie crust into the pan, and we're just rolling it down a little bit. I stuck the bottom of it to keep it from bubbling so much. I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees. I'm just going to keep an eye on it. Bake it about 15 minutes or so, because we don't want the top to get too crumbly. And we're just gonna, I want to make sure that I left enough here at the top in case the crust shrinks down, so we still have plenty of crust up along the edge here. And then I'm going to go back around, and guys, I hope y'all can see me. I'm using my other camera that I used to use. I just couldn't get the hang of this phone, and I didn't like the quality of the videos that it was putting out. So I will apologize for those. But hopefully we can get this right again. But back to what I was saying. This is a single pie crust pie. It's kind of like the ones that you get, I don't know if y'all have Frisch's where you live, but it's kind of like that. It's kind of like the Frisch's pie. Okay, there we go. We're going to start with that. Go ahead and get it in the oven. A little bakey bake. Now keep my eye on that. You know, y'all bound to hear Brinkley running back and forth over here. He likes to help me. What can I say? I don't know if you'd really call it help, but he kind of likes to do that. Okay. Got the pie shell in the oven, pie crust in the oven. Next thing I'm going to do, I've already washed my strawberries. I'm going to cut the tops off of them and give them a little slice. And then I'll put them in a bowl. Alright. I always cut the tops off of here, and then because I don't like that core in there, I take my knife, pop the center out, like this. Or you can, you know, they make the little gadget that pops that whole thing off, but I don't have one. Don't feel the need to get one this time. Cut off any little spots, you know, this time of year. Strawberries are not the greatest thing to get. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut all of these up, and what I do is when I slice it, here's what I do. Here's how I slice them, just like this. Because I think it makes the pie look better when you slice them like that. Okay? Just like that. So I'm going to do this, get all this done, and I'll be right back. I've got these all sliced up and the little pits removed. Now, this is what I use. This is strawberry glaze. I actually use the sugar-free. They make it either way. I prefer the sugar-free. But we're just going to pour that in there. The pie crust is still baking in the oven. And we're going to leave that in there until it gets a little brown and toasty looking. Just kind of keep an eye, as always, keep an eye on your edges of your pie crust. Don't let it burn. But we'll let that pie crust cool down before we put this in there, obviously. Yeah, you have to let it cool down. That looks delicious just in itself, doesn't it? I can't eat strawberries. Wish I could. I'm sure they taste amazing. It's been a long time since I've had any. But that's this part of it. And like I said, when I take the pie crust out, we're going to set it on this trivet, let it cool down a little bit, and then we're going to add this yummy strawberry pie filling. So in the meantime, I'm just going to let this sit over here and let all those little happy flavors start to marry. Okay, as I wait for the crust to finish cooking, or to finish baking for the strawberry pie, I'm going to go ahead and start getting all things together for this pumpkin pie. Now, again, this is one of the pre-made crusts. If you feel adventurous, please do go ahead and make your own. I just don't think I can. I've never done it. I'm sure I can. But, you know, that to me is one of those things that you do. See, I should have already made one of these before. But to me, it's one of the things that you do whenever you, I'm just pushing this crust down in here, trying to make it stay. I noticed in this oven over here, my pie crust slid down, sadly. You can always put, if you're just baking the pie crust itself, you can always just put some foil around the edges. Just crumple it up and lay it around the edges. Just keep it and save it. You know, use it each time, put it in a Ziploc. But it's supposed to hold the edges up to keep that from happening. I don't know if it will, but that's what they say. I guess I should have gave it a try. Now what I do have is I got this, it's from Wilton. It's the pie crust protector, and it's adjustable. I've already adjusted it for this pan. So, well, it's a dish. But I'm pushing this crust. Don't stretch it, just push it. I'm pushing it up against the sides of the dish is what I'm doing, to try to hold it in place in hopes that this one doesn't slide down and it be full of pumpkin filling. Now, I've already got my stuff measured out for this pie. Okay, mostly. I've got it mostly. Let me check this. I just don't want it to burn. That crust smells really good though. Okay. Now, what I'm doing is I'm sort of following the Pillsbury ingredients for pie, for pumpkin pie, sort of. I'm cutting this down to 1/2 cup of sugar. It's 1½ teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. I put a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in here. I'm going to use 1 cup of evaporated milk and 1/2 cup of maple syrup, which is why I'm cutting down on the sugar in here. Then I've also got 2 eggs and then the can of pumpkin. So I'm going to go ahead and put my eggs in. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my evaporated milk in. I'm going to get all this stuff whisked together. Again, this is off of the Pillsbury website. We'll put a link for you guys. But go ahead and get this mixed together. I'm not a fan of this white stuff in eggs. I just tell you, I'm not. If I can get that out of there, I will. Not a fan of it. There we go. That's better. I like that a lot better. Now. Okay. Now, because I'm going by their recipe, of course I've got this pulled up on my phone. Now, once this pie crust that I've got in there right now comes out of the oven, I'm going to heat my oven to 425, and I'm going to put this pie crust in there, and I'm going to leave it in there for 15 minutes. Then I'm going to take it out, put our filling in, turn the heat down, I think to 350. I'm not quite there yet, but to that point, but yeah. As we go along, I'll tell you more about it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead now and just go and put my whole can of pumpkin in here and mix it. You can use any brand you want to. This is Myers brand, so that's what we're using today. Check my crust again. Y'all tell I'm nervous about it, can't you? I made one, I think it was last Christmas. And my daughter Ashley, she loved it. She ended up taking some home with her. And this was her request for this year. I was like, okay, what do y'all want? We've got banana bread. You can put nuts in it if you want to. Jenny, I hope yours turns out really good. You'll have to let me know if it did or not. We'll go ahead and put that in there. It's actually evaporated milk. Not condensed, evaporated. Now, let's go ahead and stir this. Smells good. Get this stirred up. Now, if you don't have pumpkin pie spice, there's a lot of recipes on Pinterest for it. I happen to have it here at home, so I knew I'd be needing it. Well, can't even talk, y'all. I knew I would be needing it, but I've had some for a while. I use pumpkin pie spice a lot, which tells me I actually should just go ahead and make my own, shouldn't I? Again, I'm going to put half a cup of this maple syrup in here instead of as much sugar as it called for. Should give it a yummy flavor too. Should. That poured in there. Make sure you can get all of it. There we go. Now, go ahead and give this another stir. I might add a little bit more of the, ooh, oh, that smells pretty good. But I was thinking I might add a little bit more of the spices to it. I love nutmeg. I know everybody's not a nutmeg fan, but I am. And to me, a little bit more nutmeg is always a good thing. Now, look at there. Yeah. Looks good. Definitely thin. Makes me a little nervous, but I know it's supposed to be. I'm just hoping it all fits in there and don't boil over. I wonder, you know, I think I'm going to put me some foil down in my oven on the lower rack. I think that's what I'm gonna do, so that if I have any spillage, I can catch it. All right. I think my mess here is complete. Needs to be out of the way now. Got the pie shell out. You'll see how it slid down in there. Oh well, I'm sure it's still going to taste good. Once it cools down, we're going to put this in there. Now, I went ahead and put me a piece of foil on my baking rack in hopes that if this boils over, it catches the mess. But this, I told you, it's adjustable. You see how I've got it around here. And I'm going to go ahead and pour in our pumpkin mixture with hopes that I do not spill. That fills it right up to the top, y'all. Well, not like to the top, but to the edge of the pan anyway. Now, I know when I go to put this in here, I have to be super careful not to spill it. Yes, y'all know I've got my pan of hot water, or my sink of hot water over there. Now I'm going to turn you around here. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is going to go in the 425 degree oven for 15 minutes. Then I'm going to reduce the temperature in the oven to 350 degrees and bake it for 40 to 50 minutes. It says to do the knife test, you insert a knife near the center. You pull it out to make sure there's no runny pumpkin filling on it. And then it says to let it cool completely in for about 2 hours, which means you have to let it sit out for about 2 hours to cool completely down. And then you store it in the refrigerator. And then the next time you pull it out, it's, oh boy, hot dog, this is good stuff. I hope. Alright. Oven is preheated. Now I'm just hoping I don't set off my alarm. And trying to be super duper careful not to spill this. Well, that's a little bit hard to reach, I can tell you right now. Oh my goodness. Alright, now. Whew. That's interesting. You know, I'd love to have an oven that comes like up here somewhere. Doggone all that bending over. And my arms are short, so it's hard for me to reach that. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and pull me another piece of foil off and put it on the bottom rack, because I don't want to mess, and I surely don't want to fire in my oven. So we're going to do that. And once this cools completely down, I'll be back with y'all. Let's finish up this pie. Again, now the crust is kind of wonky, but still, it should taste just fine. How about it? Does that look tasty? Let's get you over here. Yep, there you go. Isn't that just pretty? And that is the pumpkin pie. Right here is where I dropped the, sorry about that. Right here is where I dropped the pie shell protector. But don't those just look yummy? Now, we're going to let that sit there for about 2 hours and cool down. Now, y'all can get these recipes on my Facebook page. It's at Handcrafted By. Just go there and I'll have them on there for you. I think I'm finished for today. I have one more dessert to make, but that'll be on another vlog. But if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that I'm doing a good job for you guys. Ring the bell. You'll get notifications each time I put new content on. Be sure and click all for all notifications. And y'all have a good day. I'm hot. I am thirsty. And I'm going to get me some lunch. Y'all take care. Bye.